Welcome to the Monster Chronicles, where we go through the monster manual and rate each monster on a tier list.
Boo. That was it.
Fine. I was expecting something so clever. I now you had
excuse me.
You had something.
You don't think my boo was clever?
I don't. I thought that you had something so clever.
I think it was the cleverest thing that could have come out of my 200 IQ brain. Okay.
Yeah. Just when you were like, ooh, I want to do it. I want to do the second half of this, and I thought you had something like already like sculpted in your head of this meticulous bit.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Boo.
Grade A comedy.
Genius.
Everyone.
Genius.
Everyone give Nola a round of applause.
Yes. Okay. I deserve an award for that level of genius that I just did.
It's true. It's true.
Uh-huh.
You know. So today, we're talking about the Aboleth and all of the spooky, scary, tendrily sliminess that goes with it. And I'm sure that there'll be an image over there right now, but I'm gonna show the picture on the thing anyway. Ooh, look at spooky, scary.
Oh.
It is no secret that I am a fan of horror in tabletop RPGs and interactive media in general. There are some good horror movies out there, but I am particularly fond of horror video games, horror tabletop games, Call of Cthulhu, Curse of Strahd. My beating heart dwells within all of these modules, so the Aboleth lends itself very well to that playstyle. So disclaimer, I be biased, yo. I be so biased.
Oh. Well, I'm not. It's not that I hate horror. It's just not my thing. And I've personally never had to deal with an Aboleth in a campaign. So I have no nostalgia. I have no heartstrings attached to this thing. So yeah. So do we just want to get into the details of this monster and stuff like that? Or
first of all, Matthew Mercer / Marisha Ray, how do you pronounce this thing?
Aboleth.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Aboleth. If you're going in a voiceover session, they might slap you on the wrist as you say Aboleth versus Aboleth.
Aboleth.
Yeah. But I think if you say Aboleth, it's fine. I think it's.
I don't think anyone will call you up being like, "Stop! This is the D&D police. You're under arrest because you pronounced this name wrong." Okay.
The D&D police are real, Nola.
Oh, really?
They are terrifying.
Are they more terrifying than the Aboleth?
I won't.
Yeah, that's right.
I won't comment.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. You can't comment because they're not real.
Yeah, let's talk about this creature for a second. I to start off with, because this creature has a heavy connection in the Forgotten Realms, anyway, universe and the D&D multiverse. I wanted to talk about the stats first, and then go into its connection with the land around it, because I think that starting off, if you were to fight this thing one-on-one, is a good place to start, and also is kind of the weaker part of this creature, I would say, because what makes this creature so great isn't exactly how it fights in combat, but rather what it does to the land around it. But that being said, stats are important. So armor class 17, challenge rating 10, amphibious, large aberration, lawful evil, very intelligent creature. But not crazy intelligent.
I actually was quite shocked because the highest stat it has is actually its strength with a 21 strength. Mm-hmm. You'd think with a creature like this, the highest stat, it would be a 21 intelligence.
Yeah.
But no.
I think in terms of reputation, with our criteria, that is something that caught me off guard. Like, as a DM, when I was looking at this thing for running purposes, I'm looking at its stats, and I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking that this is a creature with an eternal memory that has been around for thousands of, if not hundreds of thousands, timeless. This creature is timeless. And
Right.
it's not very smart. And that surprised me.
I mean 18 is smart, but with the reputation that this creature has, I thought that this creature would have an intelligence of like a 25.
Yeah, me
Or something like that.
Me as well.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of PC characters have like if you're like a level 10 wizard, you probably have the same intelligence as this thing, which says a lot.
Yeah, and that's underwhelming for me from the stats standpoint. And that's my elephant in the room in terms of this monster's design, is that the idea that this creature isn't just
it's not as smart as it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's
you know,
which is
and
just disappointing.
I actually wanted to add one more thing. Its wisdom is a 15. You think that with thousands upon thousands and thousands of years of wealth of knowledge and experience, this thing would be a wiser creature.
Yeah, I think I can justify that because of its arrogance. Like, these things want to overthrow the gods, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, but that's a pretty arrogant thing to do when you're a challenge rating 10 creature with 18 intelligence. These things ain't overthrowing the gods anytime soon.
I guess, but I'd bump that wisdom to like at least a 16, and that intelligence up to like a 22, like at minimum.
Yeah.
And then lower strength maybe. So I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement that these things, just base stats, are a little underwhelming for what this creature's supposed to be. But then we get into the meat and potatoes of it, which is its slimy, tendrily, dark depths of murky lakes and vast oceans peering into your mind and taking control away from you so that all you see is your own mindless body that is no longer under your control as you do horrific things. And
Ew.
yeah, this thing ain't no joke. And its disease is cool. I like it.
Its disease is very interesting. The first time I read it, it says, I'll skip all the like minor details and the number details, but it says the diseased creature can breathe only underwater. The first time I read that, I was like, what? Why? That's kind of a weird detail to add. But then reading through the creature a little bit deeper, it made me realize, I'm like, oh wait, if a diseased creature can only breathe underwater, and usually Aboleth's layers are underwater, it essentially traps the creature underwater so that it can't escape.
And how terrifying is that? Like, you're down fighting this thing, and the party tries to run, and then you get out of the water and you realize all of a sudden you can't breathe.
You can't breathe. Yeah, you can't get out of the water.
Which lends itself so beautifully to that suspense. I love it. And not to mention just the image of your skin becoming slimy and frog-like after you get out of an Aboleth's lair. It's disgusting, it's horrible, and I love it.
Ew. It reminds me of like a blobfish after you take it out of the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, and you take 6 acid damage every 10 minutes. So short rest ain't gonna do you any good. It's gonna do more harm than good. Like, if you get this curse and you don't deal with it, it's deadly. Like, you will die.
Yeah.
Like, you need to deal with it. I love this mechanic of it from a combat perspective, because like you said, Nola, means you can't run.
Right.
Or
at least not very far.
Yeah, not very far. It's tail attack, tentacle attack. It's pretty standard. I mean,
it's whatever.
Yeah, it's. I think we can move on. That sums it up. It's whatever. But it's enslave. I think is a really cool concept, and I think the DC should be higher. I was thinking about this with campaigns. You know, admittedly, this is only a challenge. It's CR 10 creature, but it's still an old god, and I'm thinking, if this creature is meant to inspire cults of possibly hundreds of followers, I'm thinking that a good amount of them probably should be enslaved by this thing.
Right.
With a DC 14 wisdom save, an average Joe every day, an average Joe Schmo can break out of that enslave.
At least eventually.
Yeah, with enough time.
Yeah. And even if you have like a slightly above average wisdom, you should be able to break out of that without much trouble.
Yeah.
So it's like, really? Like, this creature is supposed to be this all-powerful millenniums of old thing, and that's it? You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, it is, because I love the design of this creature. I think in terms of our criteria, reputation this is one of the cases where reputation is doing it more harm than good. Just because you think it's built up to be this terrifying and really strong thing, which if introduced at the proper level definitely can be. Like, this monster definitely has its place. But I think it's built up a little too much. Like, it does it a disservice because it's still an amazing creature, but it's not Cthulhu. It's
not even close.
Yeah, no,
not even close.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like toddler Cthulhu.
Yeah,
Like,
this is like Cthulhu's pinky nail.
yeah.
And
Weird comparison, but okay.
yeah. I mean, tentacles have nails. Oh, that's weird to think about. Ew.
No, yeah, let's just move on.
Okay. And then, of course, its legendary actions, which is detect is just weird. The Aboleth can make a perception check as a legendary action.
That's... Do you need a legendary action to do that? I feel like most people can just do that regularly without having to spend an action.
I think what this is meant to be, and it requires a little bit of a leap in logic, but I think what this thing is trying to say is that it can detect a creature within its lair. So like within the mile radius around where it hangs out, it can detect a thing. I think. But it's up to the DM to decide. Like, that's how I would rule it, because otherwise that's really underwhelming. Like, you can look at something and it doesn't say, it just says make a perception check. So there's a lot of room for interpretation there, and I would rule that.
Right.
I would rule that as an Aboleth can see into its lair and see what's in it.
Looking at it, just glancing at it, it makes a wisdom perception check. Why not make it a little bit of a more powerful version to make it a legendary action? Why not make it a detect magic, or like a detect good, or detect evil, or that type of thing? You know, like, make it at least specific, or just slightly more powerful than just you can roll perception as a legendary action. It's just like, what?
Yeah, a lot of DMs let their players do that for free.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, and then the next one is Tail Swipe. Evens out the action economy, serves a purpose. I get it. Not very special. Psychic Drain. One creature charmed by the Aboleth takes 10 3d6 psychic damage, and the Aboleth regains hit points equal to the damage the creature takes. I like this for out of combat reasons. A lot of this creature's oomph comes out with its out of combat potential. Like, I'm thinking, if this thing is surrounded by cultists and you're attacking this thing, it could just run away and drain all of its followers and come back 10 minutes later fully healed. That sounds really neat. I like the idea of being able to actually just do something with the creatures that it's enslaved. I think that that's really cool. Going through the stat block, I think this thing is built up more than it should be in terms of power and its history and all that. Because looking at it from the fighting perspective, like just fighting in this thing with a party, and like the combat is with an Aboleth, it's underwhelming. It is how I describe it.
Right. I think the myth of the Aboleth is bigger than the Aboleth itself. And the scariest part of the Aboleth is when it's not in combat. Once you get into actual combat and you look at the actual stats that this thing has and its actual abilities, it's a decent foe. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's not bad.
But it's not as scary as you think it is. The scariest part of the monster is first meeting the monster and the stuff around the monster.
Yeah.
Not really the monster itself.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we're starting to sound like a broken record a little bit just because we're in agreement. But now's where we get into where the Aboleth really, really, really shines. And that's everything else. Literally everything else. This thing is incredible, and this thing's combat and stat block, I think, serves out of combat more than it does in combat, like I've said with a few of the examples. So going through the history, these things have eternal memories, meaning that if another Aboleth is created, it maintains perfect recollection of the Aboleth before it. So everything that it goes through, it remembers absolutely and perfectly. So this Aboleth might as well be the same Aboleth from thousands and thousands of years ago, which is really, really cool because it lends itself really well to legends. Like if you have an elder god that goes by the name like Gargamel or something like that. I don't know. Smurfs. I don't know why I said Gargamel.
Okay.
Gargamel the Aboleth.
Right.
We're gonna keep it though. We're gonna keep it. This
Okay.
This example Aboleth's name is Gargamel now. So yeah. So Gargamel the Aboleth is basically the same creature as the Aboleth that was killed off thousands of years ago. And when it finds a home in the ocean or in a lake or in the Underdark, as I particularly like to put it, because then they have the ability to move all around the continents. If there's like a gigantic flowing river underground that the Aboleth calls its home, you got some great material for an adventure. This thing is perfect for what it serves. It's not very malleable, but it has its place, and I love it. I love it so much.
All I can think about is on the second page where it has like the little envelope slip letter.
I know
it
it,
says,
I know
could
it.
it be that Aboleths are older than the gods, that before the divine ones came to be such horrors shaped the multiverse? Now there's a chilling thought. Yeah, all I can think about is how this Aboleth looks like it's posing to be painted like a French girl, or like it's just doing the splits. That's all I can think about. That's the first thing I thought when I saw this thing. And it's just like, why is it doing the splits? Why is it posing like it wants to be painted and then, you know, drowned in the Titanic? Like, I don't get it.
Imagine like one tendril going on the windowsill.
Ew. No. Well, I mean, did you even see it before I told you? Like, I told him this, we were talking about slightly earlier, but I don't know. That's the first thing I thought when I saw this creature, and it made it a bit less scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This picture does the Aboleth no favors. So thanks a lot, Vakir Zakir.
Painting the Aboleth like one of his French girls.
I mean, we don't know them. But French girls aside.
The French.
What do you think about the layer actions, the regional effects, and its place with just like, you know, what it's trying to do design-wise, Nola? I mean, so, you know,
Right.
you've been playing in Curse of Strahd, we've been playing in Curse of Strahd together for a while now, and it's
Right.
not Lovecraftian horror like that. Like Curse of Strahd is vampire horror.
No, it's gothic. It's gothic horror. This is a different kind of horror.
Yeah, but if you were to go into like, if you were to be thrown this direction and your DM were to say, okay, we're playing a Lovecraftian horror game, what are your thoughts? I won't put anything in your mind because I'm biased.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, okay, so because I don't have any biases towards this creature or against this creature, all I know is kind of the reputation of the creature and what I read in the monster manual. And obviously it's an impressive creature. It can do a lot of things. Certainly. It's very particular, obviously, to like a water-based setting because of it can create like disease that force people to stay in the water. Whenever there's an Aboleth lair around, underground surfaces within a mile of the Aboleth radius are like slimy and wet, and it's just like, ew, it's that disgusting, like grimy, slimy type of horror that is just like, ugh, you know, it's kind of gross. I don't know. Okay. So water campaigns in general are kind of rare. A lot of DMs don't really do water campaigns. So usually the Aboleth is confined to regular campaigns, but like in a sewer somewhere, or like in a cave somewhere, or something along those lines. When I think of this creature, I'm thinking, where would be like the optimal place for like an Aboleth to live? And I'm thinking, imagine a party was on a ship and it got shipwrecked onto an island, and that island had an Aboleth on it.
Oh, I like that. Isolated traps.
Yes, it is an isolated trap. Not only are they trapped underwater, but even if they wanted to leave by land and they weren't diseased, it's only a matter of time before they are diseased, because they can't leave unless they create a boat or they use magic to teleport or something along those lines. So if I were to ideally meet an Aboleth and I really wanted to go horror route, I would go like island horror. That's what that's my first thought. To really take advantage of how scary this thing would be.
I think that is some great intuition there. And one of the great cool things about this, to my knowledge, this creature has like one of the best attack ranges in the game at like running a mile. So if you were to do an island and basically force it to like an island that is 1 mile.
Yeah, or really screw your players over.
Exactly.
Okay? I think at that point, you could actually afford to have a slightly higher level party, because this Aboleth would have the advantage, would have home turf advantage at that point.
And enslave any creature that's on it.
Yeah, and enslave any creature that's on it. Like, imagine this island had, like, you know, like those little cute little intelligent frog things that are actually like really chaotic and
you're talking D&D. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, are they what are they called? Are they like Krugs? What are they called?
I'm looking it up. So carry on. Yes, the frog creatures.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. No, they're not Krugs. What are they called? Let's see. Oh no, they're not in the Monster Manual. They're in the Volo's Guide.
Oh.
They're called Grungs.
Yes.
Wait, are they in the Grungs? Grungs. They're really cute. Imagine if like an Aboleth had like an army of little like dangerous little baby dart frogs. That's what I want. Okay.
Yeah, the fact that you said that sounds so cute, I think kind of is defeating the purpose a little bit here, Nola.
Okay, fine. Throw some slads at them, okay?
Yeah, there we go.
You know,
there's
like,
some ugly frog creatures.
Or like some lizard folk or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're going full horror, obviously throw like scary creatures, or even like some, maybe some marooned pirates could be on the island worshiping this Aboleth, you know? Or like maybe this island has kind of a ghost story myth surrounded by it, like pirates don't deal with this place because it like it's a spooky place, okay? And this is the place where pirates go to throw the pirates that they don't want anymore.
Ye have eaten Polly's crackers for the last time. So long, ye scurvy dog.
And
then they never
slow and then they're never seen again, or they're just presumed dead, or you know, whatever. And the Aboleth very slowly, every once in a while, gets new marooned followers that he just turns into his slaves. And it doesn't matter if they break that DC 14 wisdom save, because where else are they gonna go?
Yeah.
They'll just re-enslave them like 2 days later.
Yeah, and something that I want to throw on there that I just realized and makes me love this thing even more is that it's an enslave feature. It doesn't say that the creature knows that it was ever enslaved. So, say for instance, you're just curled up, just hanging out with your buds, and then you get up and you slit their throats in the middle of the night, and then the enslave ends. You don't know that wasn't you.
Yeah. Right. And well, I mean, I assume that people would just assume someone else, there's a monster.
Yeah.
You know, or something else killed it.
But how can you be sure?
Yeah, how can you be sure? And then like slowly over the course of the campaign, you realize that a lot of the clues indicate that either you or someone in your party killed this person.
Yeah.
And then maybe one of y'all keep just dropping one by one, and if you can't stop the Aboleth before y'all are dead, oops!
Yeah.
Y'all are dead.
That's really cool. And with all this in mind, I think this creature is really cool. I think the reputation does it more harm than good. But that doesn't change the fact that this creature is still amazing and can lead to a incredible whole campaign if you let it. Like, it's starting at first level, and if you go all the way to 10 till you fight this thing, this could be a big bad from like a level 1 to 10 campaign easily, and it would be a wonderful big bad. Whenever I see this, whenever me as a player knows that it's an Aboleth's work, I get super excited. Even though I know what it can mean, because insanity can look different for everyone.
Before we move to the tier list, I do want to take note of one ability that it does have, that it can create an illusory image of itself within 1 mile of its lair. And the copy can appear in any location the Aboleth has seen before, or any location creature charmed by the Aboleth can concurrently see. Like, it looks, sound, and move like the Aboleth. The Aboleth can sense, speak, use telepathy from the image's position, as if it was present at that position. Like, as long as you're like around a mile of this lair, this Aboleth can really do the fake image of like, hi, I'm here, and I can actually do some minor stuff.
I think we can rate this sucker.
Okay.
So I love this thing. I think I've said everything that I want to say about it, and for all these reasons, I don't want it to go beneath hype. I personally would put it in legendary, just because I know that I love this thing, and horror is my favorite genre. Well, I don't know my favorite, but I love horror and interactive media. And whenever I see that there's an Aboleth, or I'm told that, okay, this is going to be a horror thing, and I figure out that it's an Aboleth, I get excited. I get so pumped whenever, oh, this is an Aboleth. Oh, this is cool. Like, that is hype for me. And personally, I would even bump it up further to legendary, just because that's my preference. I love horror. And I wouldn't put it in God tier, only because
right.
both for lore reasons and for the fact that it's combat, it could be better. It could be better. I'm pushing legendary. What are you thinking?
I agree it should not go into God tier.
Yeah.
And I also agree that I don't think it should go below hype, because I mean, you know, despite thinking that the reputation is maybe a little bit more than the monster itself, it's still an exciting monster for the grand majority of people. Like, I know other people, they love the Aboleth too. You love the Aboleth. So I don't think it should go below hype either. I think this monster is just a little too unique, and it's a little too, I don't know, detailed and powerful for it to be in hype. Like, this creature has 2 full pages of lore. It has layer actions, regional effects, and it has such a reputation with it. It sounds like it'd be a fun monster to play. You can construct a campaign around this monster. I actually would put it in legendary as well. Not because I personally love it, but I can't really deny that this is an incredible monster, despite all the flaws that we see in it, you know? So, yeah, I would go ahead and put it in legendary.
Then it shall be Aboleth, your tendrily horrific maw and spells and lands and horrorness. Boo, as Nola would say.
Boo.
You have made it into legendary. And I know that this is going to frustrate you because you really wish you were in God. It's kind of part of the thing, but
can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
There ain't nothing wrong with being in legendary. All right, I think that'll about do it for one of my favorite creatures in the monster manual. We got to that very quickly because it's an AB. It's all downhill from here, I guess.
Well, actually, you know, it's kind of funny because you know, Aboleth is over here trying to take out the gods, and the The next monsters are angels.
Angels.
That'll be interesting.
Yes. Nola. Wait, what's that? I think I
What?
see the D&D police coming.
Oh no! No! Ah!
Cool.
Also follow us on RoleCallrp on Twitch. We stream sometimes. Okay, cool. Like, comment, subscribe. Okay, bye.